Recent wave of terrorist attacks here and abroad are sparking a new worldwide fear. Can we trust immigrants or refugees trying to get into the U.S.?
Well, Texas Congressman Michael McCall, who heads the House Homeland Security Committee, is warning the threat is getting closer, saying ISIS members in Syria have attempted to exploit our refugee program to get into the U.S.
And tomorrow, our leaders in Congress will vote on whether to tighten the visa waiver program. Our Emily Baucum traveled to what many are calling the new front line, our border with Mexico.
Is there anyone in the chair?
This border bridge in Laredo is where two Syrian families recently presented themselves to authorities. Now people in South Texas want to know, how did they get here and how many more are on their way? All day, every day, thousands of people cross by car, by bus, and on foot, spilling out onto the main streets of Laredo.
Claro que tenemos miedo.
Store owner Martha Narvaez says of course she's scared.
Las guerras son muy tristes para las familias, los niños.
She feels sorry for Syrians fleeing war in their homeland.
Pero también está peligroso porque no sabemos quién son.
But it's also dangerous, she says, because we don't know if some refugees are also terrorists.
We try to piece the story together.
To find out how people from around the world are getting to Laredo, we asked the area's medical examiner.
It's the same story. It's the same story every time.
When someone dies on the journey north, Dr. Corrine Stern interviews the people who stayed with the body.
They'll say, we crossed the river at night. It's always at night.
Always with the help of smugglers who run routes through Central America and Mexico. And it's big business.
We ask, how much did you pay the coyote? The average I hear is $8,000 to $12,000. And somehow they come up with that money.
So far this year, Dr. Stern's team has not found the body of anyone of Syrian descent.
But we know it's happening. We know they are trying to cross our border.
I think the concern specifically with Syria is, are these folks connected to ISIS?
Congressman Will Hurd's district includes almost all of Texas's long border with Mexico.
I spent 9 years as an undercover officer in the CIA. I was chasing Al-Qaeda in Pakistan and Afghanistan. I've been on some pretty nasty borders in my career, so I know a little something about stopping bad guys.
He calls the terrorist attacks against the French and Russians warnings. And now America must decide how to handle Syrians at our border before it's too late.
The House passed legislation and the Senate's picking up saying if we're not able to figure out who these people are, we shouldn't let them in the country. It's balancing compassion with security.
If border towns are the first line of defense, checkpoints like this one are the last. They're about an hour or so north in rural areas that are always on high alert.
We encounter people from different nationalities.
Border Patrol agents at this checkpoint are known for busting the most undocumented workers and drug runners. But for every person they catch, dozens more trek through the thick South Texas brush to avoid detection. So Border Patrol has added a new tool to its arsenal.
As soon as they press the button,
1390.2 rescue beacon. It's at 10 hits.
And those agents will respond to assist.
These rescue beacons are strategically placed on vast ranches, hotbeds of smuggling activity.
It comes in Spanish and Mandarin, which is at one time there was an influx of that nationality in these parts of the area.
More evidence of the worldwide web of immigration.
You're vigilant.
But ranchers say when it comes to this latest threat from Syrians, the government isn't coming clean.
The Border Patrol do not tell us as ranchers what specific countries, these special interest countries, these people come from. And we have a problem with that. Why is Washington keeping it a big secret?
They are. They're coming.
Using their pack of dogs as protection, Dr. Mike and Linda Vickers encounter immigrants undeterred by electric fences and barbed wire.
Right underneath the fence there. Right there.
They've personally caught hundreds of people trying to skirt the checkpoint.
Whether they're a legal alien from Mexico or from Syria, it is my duty to find them on my property and report them to Border Patrol. No exceptions.
One time, something was left behind that the doctor says proves people from the Middle East have been crossing the border illegally for years now.
As he went over the fence, this fell out of his pocket, and we were right there watching the whole show.
An Urdu dictionary found 2 years ago.
This is where Urdu is spoken. Pakistan, Afghanistan, India, Iran.
Flip through the book and you'll find key phrases are circled.
You must pay in dollars. All of these phrases were circled, so this was obviously a dictionary the coyote was using to communicate with the people.
The old discovery giving way to new concerns as Syrian refugees make their way west.
Mexico's taking them, but they're not going to stay in Mexico. They're going to head up here. I think that's a given.
After the holidays, Congress will consider 2 bills meant to make our border with Mexico more secure. One would bring more manpower to border towns. The other would strengthen the immigration justice system. Reporting in Laredo, Texas, I'm Emily Baucum.